What's up, everybody? Happy New Year and welcome into another episode of Flippin Bats. We got a great one today. We're going to talk all about Carlos Correa, what the Dodgers have been doing this offseason. The WBC is right around the corner, and name that player. This one is going to be a blast. Let's go.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits out a 3-0 pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball, deep center field. It is gone! Home run! And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
What is up, my friends? Welcome into another year of Flippin Bats. We have made it to 2023. It is the first episode of the year. Alex, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First time I've seen you since the new year.
Couple weeks here.
How are the holidays? How was New Year? Everything good?
Oh, everything was great. It was so much family. We did like double days. I had like double Christmas Eve, double Christmas morning, double Christmas night, because both my husband and my families live in Manhattan Beach. So it's like boom, 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 boom. But it was awesome. Again, this year has been a big reminder of love your close ones, tell them you love them, spend as much time with your family as you can. And so we did just that. It looked like you did the same too.
I did. I went to Florida for Christmas, which is my parents and myself and my girlfriend. We all went there.
Yeah.
That's where my brother lives. So it was nice. The weather was kind of hit or miss, but on Christmas Eve, I got pulled over on a jet ski.
What?
Yeah.
How do you get pulled over on a jet ski?
Well, apparently I was going too fast.
Living on the edge.
But so hear me out here. I actually
All
have
right.
a bone to pick here. If you cops from on the water and
Let's go.
are listening.
Yeah.
Look, there was nobody around me. I went out to check out a certain area, and you know what? I saw a sign that I didn't know what it meant. So I turned around. And immediately as I turn around, the cops come over, the lights are flashing, they wave me over like I'm like about to rob a house or something.
Did they think you were like drunk driving?
Yeah, I
or
don't
something
understand. They wave me over, I go right over, and they're like, get over here. They throw a rope around the jet ski, pull me in.
Got
I'm like,
lassoed.
what are we doing here? And they're like, do you know what that sign says? And I was like, no, sir, that's why I turned around.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're not supposed to go fast on the other side of that sign. And I was like, that's great. Glad I turned around there.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what the definition of going fast is on the water in Florida? I was like, no. They're like, if your boat leaves the surface of the water. So apparently I was going too fast, but nobody was around. It's like, go do something beneficial. I don't understand. It's Christmas Eve. Go spend it with your family.
Were you by
I'm not
yourself,
bothering
by the way,
anybody.
out there?
My dad was on the other jet ski. My
Okay.
brother came down to the dock. Everybody
Okay.
was watching.
Like,
and
what'd
it's
you
just
do?
like, come on, man. But it was great.
Yeah.
Christmas was great. New Year's was great. Everything is great. And yeah, that's it was all good.
That's good.
Some baseball news today.
A lot
by
of
the way.
baseball news.
So this is our first bit of news. Rafi Devers signs with the Red Sox. Not the deal that everybody was thinking and wants in Red Sox Nation. 1-year deal, $17.5 million, avoiding arbitration, basically. This deal doesn't do much for me. It's like, sign your guy. Like, okay, great. You avoided arbitration with a guy. Like, this isn't the tweet that anybody in Red Sox Nation wants to wake up to. You want to wake up to the tweet saying, hey, we signed Rafi Devers for 10 years, $280 million or whatever. But, okay, you avoided arbitration, and guess what? You're still going to have to sign him long-term, or are you even going to do it? I don't have faith in them doing it, but I don't know. This is news, but it's like the Red Sox just don't seem to do much right, so I don't have faith in them getting it done, and this just prolongs that. This just like kicks the can down the road another year. That's what this deal does.
You just lost one of your main guys in Xander Bogaerts that everyone wanted you to keep and sign, and this was your chance to kind of lift up Red Sox Nation and fans, give them a little bit of hope, as you just mentioned, and give them a win. Give them a win. They have not learned yet. Keep your guys. Keep your guys.
Yep.
They've lost some of their biggest names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brutal.
Mookie, Xander,
Exactly.
Babe Ruth. And
I mean, if you're going all the way back,
I'm
just keep going,
running
just
with that,
always.
so it sticks. But by the way, the Winter Classic was yesterday.
Yeah.
The NHL Winter Classic was at Fenway.
Those are
John
fun.
Henry-
Have you been to those?
No. But
They're wild.
I would like to go to one.
Yeah.
John Henry, the owner of the Red Sox, was there in attendance. Obviously got booed big time.
I bet.
And there were signs everywhere saying, pay Devers. I don't think this is what they had in mind. But he did technically, if you want. I don't.
A 1-year deal is just like, here you go. That's
This wasn't what they wanted.
No, it's not what anyone wanted.
But some big news, big non-news really that has been happening in baseball, but it is probably the biggest story right now. Carlos Correa continues to kind of just be sitting in limbo. Obviously the Mets sign him, but same sort of concerns now with a physical, and we're still just all sitting in limbo wondering what's going to happen. So let's just break down for a minute what has happened in the last month. Basically, it's all happened in the last month. It was December 14th. Correa signed with the Giants. 13 years, $350 million, right? 6 days later, press conference, canceled. Concerns over a physical. Instead of sitting around, Scott Boras calls up Steve Cohen. Guess what, Giants? You're out of luck. No more Carlos Correa for you. The New York Mets signed Carlos Correa for 12 years, $315 million. 1 day later, they send a jet down, send down a plane for Correa to fly up for his physical. Concerns. Immediate concerns, the same concerns the Giants had. Now, the concern is this right ankle of his that was surgically repaired in 2014. That's what the concern is. That's where we sit now. And ever since that day, since we heard there were concerns, there has not been an official announcement. There has not been many updates. We don't know. We are just all sitting in limbo with what is going to happen with Carlos Correa.
It kind of feels like a bad reality TV show where the star, like maybe it's like the dating shows where the star is trying to land a date, land a wife. Bachelor. We'll go Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's the biggest
Correa
one. And Carlos Correa
Bachelor.
is the Bachelor. And no one's accepting his rose. He keeps handing out these roses and no one is accepting his rose. But it's got to be bad, really bad to be that caliber of a player, know what you're capable of, and have these top teams give you these incredible contracts to only retract after a physical.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I don't look, the injury that we're talking about is from 2014. He hasn't ever missed in 8+ seasons since then, hasn't missed a single game due to this ankle injury. Now, what I will say, the human body is fascinating. An injury here can cause an injury here, that can cause an injury there. And Carlos Correa hasn't been the healthiest player over the course of his career. But in the last 3 seasons, Scott Boras made a point here. In the last 3 seasons, Carlos Correa has played in 89% of games. Not the best number in the world, certainly not the worst number in the world. So what do you do here? I think I have an answer.
What?
Add in clauses. Add in clauses to the contract. Now, it's probably not something that Scott Boras is wanting to love to do.
I don't even know if he'd allow it. I don't know if Carlos Correa would accept it with a clause.
Then the conversation there becomes that's probably all you're looking at, pal. If you want a long-term deal, if you want 12 years, you're going to have to give us something. If not, if you don't want to sign it, you're going to have to turn around and sign a 3-year deal somewhere. So what do you want? Don't have clauses, okay, then sign a 3-year deal. You want clauses? You can sign your 12-year, $315 million deal, but it makes all the sense in the world. Just if you play in 130 or more games a year, your next year's contract kicks in. If not, we have the ability to void it. I don't know what else to say at this point. It looks like with his medicals being this bad, you have to understand that the team's going to need something in return. They're not just going to fork over 12 years, $315 million with these concerns. And if you don't like the clauses, then you're going to have to sign a short-term deal.
I mean, it's a huge investment. And any investment that is this big, you have to do your due diligence. And you have to know it's going to be a good long-term investment. And if you're looking at a physical, And you're going to see like, okay, you're fine now, but maybe in 5 years, I don't know how this ankle is going to hold up. I don't know how your leg is going to hold up. I don't know how if you're overcompensating for an ankle, you might hurt your other leg or your other ankle. There's so many different things that come into this, especially on a $315 million investment on a player, because that's what Steve Cohen is doing. He is making an investment for the franchise, for their future in Carlos Correa, and everything needs to check out. But that's just how it goes when you're an athlete.
I agree. And with it, the fact of the matter is that everything does not check out.
No.
Right? Both teams have flagged this issue. So you really gotta ask yourself the question of like, okay, it's probably not realistic for a team to still just say, you know what, whatever, we'll still go through with the deal.
No.
I think there's a couple of things that are realistic. Adding clauses in. Carlos, if you miss X amount of games due to this ankle issue, leg issue, whatever, that roots back to the ankle issue, we have the ability to void the contract. And I think that's fair. And if you don't miss X amount of games, next year kicks in. Or an alternative is go sign a deal like you did with the Twins. I don't think he wants that.
But is that why he signed that deal before? Do you think that had anything to do with it? Is there were concerns?
Well, we didn't hear about it if there were. My thought I think the reason we saw that deal is because of COVID and the lockout and all of the weird stuff going on. So it didn't allow him to get the super long-term deal. But yeah, I mean,
we don't know.
You never know. But I will say this. I think the holdup with clauses would be Boris and Correa. Do they want to do that? Boris has done it before, multiple times in his career. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge with the Tigers in 2004 and 2005, signed a $40 million deal. Guess what? There were clauses in it. If you miss time with your spine injury, we can void the contract for $5 million. He's done it as well with JD Martinez. It is something that Boris has done, and I think this is the answer moving forward. Get clauses in the contract saying you have to be on the field. If not, we can void the contract. I think that's the only way forward here. I think that's the answer, and I do believe that gets done.
Do you believe it will get done with the Mets?
I do.
Does Carlos Correa, at the start of the seaon, is he in a Mets uniform or is he somewhere else?
I think he's in a Mets uniform. That's my belief. And there was a tidbit on social media today that I really deep dove into, right?
Okay.
Carlos Correa posted on his Instagram story a picture with his son, Kylo, dressed in a shirt that said, I heart New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the I was a hot dog, the heart was a pretzel, and the letters in line.
But it looks like Mets colors. I'm a little further away.
Yeah, I did a deep dive.
I'm like, that's
if you
orange.
Really,
it's orange and blue over there, right?
If you really look at this picture, yes, Kylo is wearing an I Heart New York shirt. You look on the background on that table. There's Mets blue batting gloves. You look at his glove. It's orange. It's a Mets colored glove. It's a bit bigger glove than a shortstop. Looks like a third base glove to me. There's a lot going on
he
here.
Probably has orange though from like Astro days too.
But he was on a different team.
Yeah. If you throw away your gloves,
that's a brand new glove, and he was on the Twins last year.
I'm not as close to the photo as you are right now. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I know you did a deep creep. I love a good
prediction.
Deep creep.
By this time next week, Carlos Correa is a New York Met official.
All right.
That's my prediction. But from the East Coast to the West Coast, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Trevor Bauer has been reinstated. Mm-hmm. So he is now back on the books, back on the payroll, reinstated after 194 games. So look, the first 50 games of the year, Bauer will not be paid for, but after that, he is back on the payroll. He will be due about $22.5 million this year, taking their payroll to right around the threshold of that CBT that this year they wanted to, it was going to be a reset year for them with the CBT, and now they're going to be right around it anyway because they have to pay him. Look, they knew this was coming.
Obviously.
We can sit here and talk about why haven't the Dodgers been doing much this offseason. Well, look, we're just finding this out a week ago that he's getting reinstated, but they've known this. They've known this contract is going to come back on their books. They've planned for this. Does it suck? Absolutely, because I do not believe Trevor Bauer pitches for the Los Angeles Dodgers this year. In fact, I do not believe that Trevor Bauer ever pitches again in Major League Baseball. I think he is done. However, the Dodgers still have to pay him for this year. That is just a fact. But January 6th is the day they have to make their decision. Not the
Friday.
day they have to. They have until then
Yeah.
to make their decision. But I believe it's just a formality. I don't think he pitches there. And like I said, I truly don't believe he pitches again in Major League Baseball. I think it's a PR nightmare that no team is going to want to take on.
This is a really sensitive subject.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
any person who has experienced abuse or any kind of sexual abuse is going to be massively triggered by this and have a really tough time wrapping their head around a franchise, giving a guy, a player, a second opportunity who still believes he didn't do anything wrong. He's not apologizing. He's not taking responsibility. He's doubling down on that, saying that he didn't violate any of the terms. He didn't do anything wrong. He's even fighting back against some of the women. And we heard the Dodgers talking about they weren't interested in Carlos Correa because they didn't want to divide a fan base. If
Talk about dividing a fan base.
They decided to bring him back, the LA Times actually did a poll. Over 19,000 people voted on this, and it is completely divided. 48.8% said release him. 51.2% said to keep him. You are completely dividing a fan base. I think it would be a horrible move to keep him, a horrible look. And I think the reason he doesn't pitch, at least this next year in Major League Baseball, is because he's not taking responsibility.
Yeah. I don't believe a team is going to want to take on the PR nightmare. And this situation, Bauer wasn't the best PR guy around the league before any of this. So look, I don't foresee that happening, but the fact of the matter is the Dodgers will have to pay him a majority of his contract for this season. I don't think he pitches there, but look, I've sat here multiple times and said, what are the Dodgers doing this offseason? What are they doing? Well, one, they've known this was coming, but they didn't sign one of the four major shortstops, which I truly believed they would. I thought it would be Dansby. I thought it would be Correa. I didn't know what direction they were going to go in once Trey Turner signed with the Phillies, but I truly believed they were going to. Well, that didn't happen. They haven't done much. They did sign JD Martinez to 1 year, $10 million, which I absolutely love. I love that deal. JD Martinez getting $10 million when Matt Carpenter down in San Diego is getting more than that. That's no knock against Matt Carpenter, who certainly had a resurgence last year in New York, but JD Martinez getting $10 million. Now, they didn't do a lot other than that. And to be fair, JD Martinez signing pretty much locks down the DH spot for the team, which isn't the best thing in the world. Like, JD's going to have to DH. So he's there for a year, but not much other than that. So this year has had to have been a CBT reset for them. JD Martinez was an interesting signing over Justin Turner, who had been there for a while, signs with the Red Sox for 2 years. $21.7 million Justin Turner signs with Boston. So I have a belief there with why JD and not JT. My belief is Justin Turner wanted a multi-year deal. JD Martinez, who wasn't coming off the year we've become accustomed to, is willing to sign a one-term deal to prove himself and sign a bigger deal. JD 1 year, Justin Turner wouldn't sign for 1 year. He wanted multiple, and you know what that 1 year does.
What?
JD Martinez is off the books. So is the DH slot after 1 year.
Shohei Ohtani.
All of this.
All going back to Shohei Ohtani.
Let's not lose sight of what's happening here. Everything I have been talking about, They're resetting the CBT, them not signing many players, them signing JD Martinez and not Justin Turner. All roads lead to Shohei Ohtani. They are setting up to throw the bankroll at Shohei Ohtani after this season. That is what's happening.
This season also feels like the end of an era for the Dodgers. There's only now 3 players left on this roster from their 2017 World Series run: Barnes, Kershaw, Chris Taylor. That's a lot. They let go of a lot of guys. Obviously, we've been talking about it this offseason. They haven't done much. We're slowly kind of understanding and learning why. But I'm with you. I could totally see Shohei Ohtani ending up in LA in a Dodgers uniform, and they're going to have to fight hard against those New York teams to get him.
Against those
Bidding
teams
war.
and the Angels. I don't think the Angels are a long shot here to retain him.
I think this year will have a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
They have to show and prove that they can win, because Shohei Ohtani deserves and needs to be playing in the postseason. So does Mike Trout. It is heartbreaking to see 2 of the best players in this generation not play in the postseason. So they need to first prove this is their year, prove to them that you can do it. Otherwise, I know they're both extremely loyal people and very respectful people, but this is your career.
Guess
And
what?
this
The
is
game of baseball is not loyal. These owners aren't.
I know,
aren't
but
loyal. If
but
Shohei
those
gets
2
hurt,
players, I know them personally. Those 2 players are extremely respectful and extremely loyal. And that can hurt you in your career if you're not with a franchise that is catching up to your level or building around you
absolutely.
in any way.
I completely agree with you. Those players are loyal. What I hope, and Shohei has been vocal saying his goal is to win.
Yeah.
Now, being a loyal player, I think the Angels benefit there, but these teams aren't loyal. Baseball players are a number on a piece of paper, and as long as you are helping that bottom line and producing
and
great,
healthy,
they love you. But guess what? The second you get hurt, the second you stop producing, they don't care.
Bye.
Right. So I understand loyalty. I really do. But there is a short window for you to be one of the best baseball players in the world and the best baseball player you can be. And if your goal is to win, go do it. If your goal is to make money, go do it. But the loyalty, I hope, doesn't come back to hurt. And because I do like what the Angels have done. I think the Angels have had a very underrated offseason this year. But you're right. They have to win. And if they're not winning by the trade deadline, it could be the end of Shohei in an Angels uniform.
I mean, look at Mike Trout. He's been there 10 years. He's played in 3 playoff games and lost all 3. They got swept.
Baseball needs better. Baseball needs those guys.
They need to
the
be
playoffs.
playing in the
Absolutely.
postseason.
But you know where they will be playing?
Oh, yeah.
It is almost time. We are a couple months away from the World Baseball Classic, and I am so pumped for the WBC this year. One, it's all on Fox. Fox is the home of the WBC, but I'm just so pumped because it seemed to get bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. March 7th, technically the 7th, it starts at 11 p.m. on March 7th, but March 7th through March 21st are the dates for the World Baseball Classic, and man, is it going to be a blast this year. It just seems like it gets more and more. Look, this is only the 5th year of its existence, the 5th time it's going to happen. It's obviously not every year. So it's the 5th occasion of this tournament, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And this year, it just feels like it is ready to take off. I'm pumped up.
It is. So why don't we dive in and give everybody 5 things that you should know about the World Baseball Classic, because this is the biggest I've ever remembered it being.
Yep.
So let's just go into number 1.
Number one. Number 1 of the 5 things you need to know: the world's biggest stars are playing. And look, the rosters aren't even completely finalized yet, but we know Mike Trout is playing. Shohei Ohtani is playing. Juan Soto is playing. Clayton Kershaw, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, the MVP, Trey Turner, Trevor Story. And this is just the American team. And on the Japanese team, I'm excited about some of the players they have going that maybe people in the United States that aren't super familiar will get to know, like Roki Sasaki, Murakami. It's going to be a blast. Manny Machado, Sandy Alcantara, Cy Young. I mean, the names go on and on and on. It's incredible.
It's insane. I don't remember it ever being this big. Why this year? Why this year are we seeing basically every all-star jump and play for their country? Because I remember being at spring training and all the big names were not going. They were still at spring training while we were doing all of our games out there. Was there a moment or a player that you think turned this around for everybody?
I think there's a couple of reasons. One being this is now the 5th time, and I think every time it's fun to watch. And especially in 2017, I think players were watching saying, I want to be a part of this. This looks great. So every time the World Baseball Classic has happened, it's gotten better and better and better and more exciting, and more people want to be a part of it. Also, this year, one of the earliest commits was Mike Trout.
There you go.
One of the greatest players of all time commits to Team USA very early on. You know what that says to a bunch of players? I mean, look at Team USA. It's incredible. All the names I just rattled off.
It's an all-star team.
I want to play with Mike Trout for my country. Are you kidding me? So, yes, I think him signing as early as he did and committing to Team USA made tons of other players want to be a part of this. And now you look around, and again, the rosters aren't complete, but we will be there every step of the way telling you when rosters are complete. I think players want to be a part of it, and you look at Team Dominican Republic, Team Japan, Team USA, Venezuela, Cuba.
Stacked.
Puerto Rico.
Stacked.
Oh, it's going to be incredible, and the biggest stars are playing. That's number one.
All right. Well, number 2, past champions. Give them to us. Let's educate everybody listening.
So there have been 4 past champions, and it started in 2006. That was the first one. Team Japan wins in 2006. Team Japan wins again, back-to-back champions in 2009. Dominican Republic wins in 2013, and in 2017, Team USA won. That's Adam Jones robbing that home run in center field at Petco Park. What a year that was. But yes, things you need to know, past champions, Japan, back-to-back, Dominican Republic, and Team USA in 2017.
So now we got Team USA looking to go back-to-back champs.
That's right.
Oof.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 3, the World Baseball Classic format. Give it to us.
So, format in a nutshell, think World Cup.
Okay.
4 pools, 5 teams in each pool, and it will start with pool play. There's pool A, B, C, and D, and the top 2 teams from each pool will advance. There's multiple locations involved. Miami, Arizona in the United States, so they'll play at the home of the Marlins and the home of the Diamondbacks, but there will also be a pool in Tokyo and Taiwan. So all over the globe, pool play, first place and runner-up from those pool, A, B, C, and D, will move on to the next round, the quarterfinals, which again will be pool play.
And there's 5 teams in each pool.
5 teams in each pool. So by my math, 5 times 4 makes pretty close to 20. 20 teams involved. Top 2 from each pool move on. They play the top 2 from the other pool. Seed 1 plays seed 2.
Okay.
You know how that goes.
Yep.
But pool play again. So they'll all play each other. And then the winners go on to, we'll talk about that more in detail. But let's look at these pools. The pools are, yes. So here we go. This is Pool A, and this will take place in Taiwan. Pool A in Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, the Netherlands, Cuba, Italy, and Panama. That is Pool A. Let's move on to Pool B. We have this taking place in Tokyo, Japan, at the Tokyo Dome. Was just there. Going to be electric. Team Japan, Korea. I almost said Correa because we've been talking so much about Carlos Correa. Japan, Korea, Australia, China, and the Czech Republic. I can't imagine Team Japan playing in the Tokyo Dome with Shohei on the team. Apparently, the second Shohei committed to the WBC, tickets sold out within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. That's Pool B.
He's a hero.
Pool C. This one will take place in Phoenix, Arizona. Team USA.
Woo!
Pool C. Mexico, Colombia, Canada, Great Britain. So Team USA is in Pool C with a path out of Pool C, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
They should advance
They should.
from this pool.
Defending
and
champs.
let's move on to Pool D, the final pool involved, which will take place in Miami, Florida, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Israel, and Nicaragua. What a pool this is. Dominican, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, all going to be nasty. And we had an episode of Flippin Bats last week over Christmas with Ian Kinsler, who is the head coach of Team Israel, which is pretty cool as well.
That's
and we
so
talked
cool.
about that as well. So he played in it in 2017, and now he will be a head coach for Team Israel. Winner and runner-up from each pool make it to the quarterfinal. Winner and runner-up from those.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah. So Pool A and Pool B are going to combine.
Mm-hmm.
Pool C and Pool D are going to combine. And then winner and runner-up from those advance to this.
And then the later plays all in Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So everyone meets up in Miami.
So once it advances to the semifinals and championship, obviously, no more pool play, single elimination only. And once it reaches the semifinals, that will all take place in Miami. So once pool play is done, semis and finals will take place in Miami at the home of the Marlins. So a lot to go over there, but the format is, I would say, exciting. I love pool play leading to like a knockout round. It's fun.
It's the best. I've been explaining it to people. I'm like, it's like the World Cup, but with baseball, which is epic. Everyone loves that.
And I think the goal is to eventually get as
big.
And that's, look, the soccer is the world's biggest sport. It is the most, it is. And this tournament has been around for a long time, and the World Cup is the largest sports tournament in the world.
Yeah.
But I think the World Baseball
Competing with
Classic
the Olympics.
is going in the right path.
It is going in the
As long
right
as you mirror
direction.
that, I think we're in good shape.
So let's move to number 4, because they have some unique rules in the World Baseball Classic. So let's go through those.
Yes. Unique rules is number 4 for me. There will be a pitch count for pitchers. There will be a mercy rule. There will be run differential. So just a lot of different things that when you fire up Fox or FS1 to watch the games, don't be alarmed. Yes, there will be a pitch count. No, it's not a big deal. There should be pitch counts. Guess what? This is taking place during spring training.
Yeah.
And for these teams to allow players to go play in this tournament, you're going to have a guarantee that so-and-so is only going to be able to pitch a certain amount of pitches or a certain amount of times. So the pitch count will work in a way that as the tournament progresses, you'll be able to throw more and more pitches. If you throw X amount of pitches on this day, you cannot throw the next day. All of that totally makes sense, and I have no problems with that being in place. Mercy rule.
Do we know what the score is for mercy rule?
Do I know?
Yeah, like
No.
what it is.
Do you?
No.
Oh,
I'm so
I
curious.
assume it's 10. It is. It's 10 or more runs.
Okay.
After the 7th, is that what right, producer? After the 7th.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is
15
smart.
or more runs after the conclusion of the 5th. Okay. So if you're up by 15 or more at the end of the 5th inning, call the game. If you're up by 10 or more at the end of the 7th inning, call the game. I think it should be 10 after 5, 10 after whatever. But I have no problems with that happening. You know why?
No.
Team USA is going to absolutely dominate some people in Pool C, as they should.
Yeah.
And nobody should have to watch them beating X team 25 to 1 in the 8th inning. Call the game.
No, and we've seen this during the regular season too, when they have these blowout games. This is when you have position players going up to pitch, and then it's like, what, you guys, you've already thrown in the towel. We've given up. Let's move on.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that happening because statistics, you start looking at it like over time. So imagine Albert Pujols not getting to 700 because 8 of his games were called in the 5th inning because they were down by 10 runs. I don't know. That's a totally different rabbit hole.
We can deep dive into that after this to see how we enjoy the mercy rule.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
there will be a run differential involved as well. So there are a lot of new and unique things involved in the World Baseball Classic.
It's going to be fun.
It is going to be.
And the most fun part is that it's going to be on Fox and FS1, and we're going to be there throughout the entire experience of tournament.
Flippin Bats and Fox Sports are the home for the World Baseball Classic. How cool is that going to be? Fox Sports got all the rights, so all the games will be on Fox or FS1. And Flippin Bats, well, we're going to be covering it all. So we will be your home for the World Baseball Classic, weekly segments. And then once we get closer, there will be daily segments. When the rosters become final, we'll be your place for that. We'll rank all the teams. We'll rank all the players. We're going to do it all. And leading up to us being there for the World Baseball Classic. What a blast this is going to be. The entire tournament, I am pumped up for it. And it'll all be everything you need to know here in Fox.
I'm excited. I didn't get to cover the last one. I stayed at the spring training and continued to do all the broadcast games there. So I'm very excited for this.
Me too. You know what I'm also excited for?
Your favorite game?
Name that player. Last week, or
2 weeks
two
ago.
weeks ago, because Christmas we did the Kinsler episode.
Yeah.
I went 5 for 5. Our first time doing Name That Player. We did Name That Free Agent. We are now doing Name That Player, where I will get their college team, the team they made their debut with, and their most recent team. I believe that's the way we do it.
Yep.
And I went 5 for 5 in week 1 and was told, Ben, I don't think you're doing that this week. So,
yep.
Let's see.
Are you ready?
Yeah. And everybody play along with me here. Let's see how we all do.
Okay. Player number 1 went to LSU, made his debut with the Cubs, and is currently a Yankee. Name that player.
DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, gosh. Okay.
Bang! Let's go. 1 for 1. Whew.
All right. Or I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction yet. Let's go to player number 2. Okay.
There we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Player number 2 went to Auburn. Are we here yet? Okay. We still got the clock going on.
This says Texas A&M.
Oh, I was on player number 3. My bad.
Okay.
You're right. Thank you. Okay. Player number 2 went to Texas A&M, made his debut with the Dodgers, and currently on the Giants. Name that player.
Dodgers, Giants. Man, Texas A&M is throwing me off here. I'm going to take a stab. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going to say Alex Wood.
Nope. Ross Stripling.
Ross Stripling.
Yeah. It's okay.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
1-1.
So the last team is the team most recently played on, like who he played for last year, right?
Yeah, right.
Stripling, yeah, that's right. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I was six.
The first
of my
one.
last 6.
I know. Not
Okay.
bad. Not bad. Okay, now we're on to player number 3.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Played at Auburn, made his debut at the A's, and is on the Yankees. Name that
Josh
player.
Donaldson.
Okay, there you go. You gave me the look. You just gave me the look. I was like, I know it. We're not even going to start the clock here. Okay. You're
I'm
really
not
good
bad
at
at this.
You're really good at this game. You're blushing, and you're really good at this
All right.
game.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Let's keep it going.
2 for 3. Not bad.
Okay, player number 4 went to Ole Miss, made his debut at the Cardinals, and last team was the White Sox. Name that player.
I am fairly sure that this player is a friend of Flippin Bats. And I talked to him about playing at Ole Miss. And we talked about him pitching for the Cardinals. and playing for Tony La Russa, and
You
then
got 10
continuing
seconds.
on to play for Tony La Russa with the White Sox. This player is Lance Lynn.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Let's
All right.
go. We got one more?
Yeah, we got one more.
Oh, man. 9 for 10. 9 out of 10
Gosh.
would be great.
Yeah? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Player number 5 played at Arizona, made his debut at the Yankees. And last team he played on was the D-backs. Name that player.
Arizona. New York Yankees.
It's an Arizona sandwich.
Boy. Arizona sandwich. Yankees. Diamondbacks. I don't even have many guesses here. Shoot. I'm gonna go. I don't know.
No, say it. Nothing. Mark Melanson.
Mark Melanson. Oh, never would have guessed that.
Okay.
Never would have gotten there.
At least you're
Glad I
honest
didn't.
about it. At least you're honest about it.
3 for 5.
Not bad. You're really
Not
good
bad.
at this game.
Okay. It's time for nobody else's favorite part of the show except for mine, which is to grade myself for how I did
Okay.
in this segment. Last time I gave myself an A+, which was
You
extremely
went
fair.
5 for 5.
I'm going to give myself, the players were very difficult here. Very difficult. I'm going to give myself an A-.
Okay. I was going to say like 89%, so like a B+. That's fair.
What do you mean fair?
It's fair.
That was my grading.
Okay. I'm grading you too now.
Whoa!
Yeah!
What a wrinkle. A- is my grade. B+ is Alex's grade, but that one doesn't matter. A- for name that player. What a blast of a show. Alex, last question before we go. Why are you wearing a Lakers shirt? I didn't.
There hasn't been a lot of positive LA sports news recently, and LeBron went off on his birthday on the 30th, and it brought me joy. So I'm rocking a Lakers sweater today because it's been a hard couple days in sports.
Well, there you have it.
That's why I'm wearing it. Brings me joy.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of Flippin' Bats. We will be back next week. What a blast of a show. This is just like we're just throwing good shows in the bank here. It's like a Flippin' Bats podcast is like a garage of good episodes. You know,
All right.
we're just throwing them in there. This one has been a blast. Prediction, Correa signs by this time next week. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever it may be. And we're on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can watch every single episode as well on YouTube at Flippin' Bats Pod for all of them. But Happy New Year, everyone. We are back for another year of Flippin' Bats, and until next week, I will see you next time.